Okay. I saw a video talking about the Game of the Year awards. I don't know who see Game of the Years, but one of them is Balatro. This is really good lighting. What the fuck? Is Balatro. Balatro is a roguelike poker game. And if you don't know poker is a card game. A card game. Do you know what? I'm holding JoJo's Bizarre Adventure cards, but this is a card game. The most simple games that probably ever exist are card games. Hold up, I gotta put these back in the. I do not remember where I got this, by the way. Do not ask. I just remember buying this. It was cool. I just want to show them off. And dice. Card games and dice games are the two most simple games to understand. And at a core playthrough, they deserve their place as a games, and they've upheld as a place of the games because it is an amazing game. If someone made a tic-tac-toe video game that completely revolutionized how the game played in a completely different format and released it as a video game for like $10, could it win Game of the Year? Sure. Does it deserve it? Why not? If it's a good game that can get you hooked, get you playing, get you continue to play, wanting more play, recommended to people, that is a good game. In fact, it's an amazing game. I have 173 hours on Steam on Balatro. Balatro. The only other fucking game on. Hold on. Actually, I was wrong. 182 hours. Like, look. This is 100% orange juice, 219 hours. Balatro, 182 hours. And Epic Battle Fantasy 5, 152. I am an RPG guy. Most of my games, Elden Ring has 145 hours, and I beat the game and got the Age of Stars ending. And I haven't played it as long as Balatro. Do I like Balatro more than Elden Ring? No. But as a video game, it did better because it got me to play more. I'm not saying as a video game is it performative or have a better story. Its gameplay loop is definitively better because like dice, cards are a simple situation to understand. So yes, it deserves a place as best independent game, but it also deserves to be talked to as what makes a video game. So many things. We're used to getting so many good games like Astrobot or Xenoblade Chronicles or Elden Ring. We're used to getting so many good games that sometimes we forget something simple can be such a beautiful piece of art and we don't understand why it's good. Because people don't think that something simple can be good, deserve to be on the same pedestal. But it does. Because Balatro is simple. And sometimes simple is good. Sometimes simple is amazing. Sometimes simple is better than anything you've ever seen. Sometimes you find those indie games that change you. When the year Undertale came out, I do not remember the year, but I remember playing it. The year Undertale came out, people would consider that the best game of the year. I think Balatro, while it doesn't have a story, its gameplay, its sound effects, its music, everything about it is so dopamine pilled, so dopamine pressed, that it literally does an amazing job as a video game. It is the best mobile game I played because $10 and you have you have 100 plus hours. It's the best game I have right now for the year. I literally showed you the time I had. Other than a game that I play with my friends, this has the most hours ever. I can't get over that because while it doesn't have a story and it doesn't need one. That's the problem. A lot of people think video games need these great stories. They need to have these great graphics. They need to be fun. What is the point if it's not fun? And if Balatro itself mastered fun. It mastered a gameplay loop, an addictive loop in strategy that you can really grow with. And by mastering that, we should praise it as Game of the Year. Because it might not have the best story, it might not have the best graphics, it might not even have the best, like a lot, but it has the best gameplay It has the best video game aspect, good gameplay. And if it's that simple, a video game doesn't need anything other than its core beginnings, a good gameplay. Because yes, some video games want to focus on narrative, but you don't need a good story to have a fun game. Because in games like Mario Kart or Smash or any other fighting game ever could be most fighting games couldn't be considered good. Actually, no, I would say most, like almost any fighting game could be. You wouldn't consider Kingdom Hearts to be an amazing game because most people would find the story confusing. You couldn't consider some games a good game if it didn't arrive at a good story. And stories are subjective, but gameplay is not subjective. If I could hand anyone, I could hand anyone Balatro, and if they understood the basics of poker, I think they would like Balatro. You can't hand anyone Elden Ring, but gamers. But Balatro is a game made for people that understand what the fun is, and by having a little dopamine rush that continues and goes and goes and goes and goes, it's an amazing game. So it deserves a game. It doesn't deserve game of the year, but it deserves to be contender for game of the year. I don't think Elden Ring's DLC deserves it because, in my opinion, if you cannot play a video game by itself, it does not deserve to be contender. I'm not saying sequels don't. I'm saying if I have to play a base game to access this game, basically if I can't play it without playing something else completely, to access it should never be a contender. Because that's not a game. That's an add-on. It's an experience. You know? Like, and if we are counting DLCs, Torn of the Golden Country and other stuff like that should be considered. Because guess what? I can play those without experiencing the main story. I don't have to unlock it. I genuinely think the fucking Shadow of the Erdtree doesn't deserve to be talked about. It's Game of the Year. It's an amazing game. Don't get me wrong. I do think remakes also need their own category. Remakes or re-releases or whatever. Like Persona 3 Reloaded. Amazing game. Shouldn't be considered Game of the Year right now. Should have its own category. I do think Balatro deserves to be up there because it's formulated everything. You can buy it by itself. You can play it without any. You can play it completely by itself. You can buy it, play it, and you don't have to do anything else. You know, Elden Ring's DLC. You have to play the game. You have to defeat 2 bosses, and you have to, reach a certain thing. You have to do stuff before you're even allowed to play the DLC. You know, and Persona 3, it's just a remake. Sure, it's a good one. It's a complete rehaul. And same thing with the Final Fantasy 7, but that's like a reimagining, so I don't know if I would count that, but I would still say remakes and DLC should never be on the Game of the Year. Just my opinion. I think Balatro made his spot and deserves it.